Over the next few lessons, we're going to be creating this bracket design here. And how the general shape for this bracket design started was first sketching out a somewhat complicated sketch like this. So let's take a look at how we can recreate this sketch. And first, let's start off by just sketching out 3 circles, maybe one about here, one about here, and one about here. I'd also like all 3 of these circles to be the same size, so I'm going to tap to select all 3 circles and use the equal constraint to make sure they're all an equal size. And then I'd like to define the actual size of one of these circles, let's say 10 millimeters for the radius there. And now we can see all 3 of my circles coming in with that 10 millimeter radius. And now let's define the actual locations of where I'd like these circles to be. So I'm going to start by just tapping to select the center point of my first circle here. This is going to be my bottom left circle, and I'll put it right at the origin point there. And I'll just move the second lower circle somewhere about there for now, and this top circle maybe somewhere about here for now. And now of course I'd like to further define the locations of those circles with maybe some dimensions. So I'll tap this point here. I want it to stay at the origin, so maybe I'll lock this position in as well. And then I'll tap to select the center point of this circle and the center point of this circle and give a dimension here. And maybe I want to make sure that yes, in fact, I do want this to be 50 millimeters. I'll also find the dimension between the center point of this circle and my top circle, and maybe I want that to be 50 millimeters total distance as well. And same idea, my other lower circle center point and the upper circle, and I'll say that to be 50 millimeters as well. So now we have the proper locations and sizings of my 3 circles there. And now I just need to finish it off with some arcs. So I want an arc. I can draw something about here, something about here, and something about here. And now just finish these arcs off with, again, some constraints and dimensions. I'll tap to select all 3 arcs there, and I'd like all 3 of these arcs to be equal as well. And I want to define a radius as well, so I can tap to select any of the arcs, and I'll give the radius of that arc to be, let's say, 50 millimeters. And now all 3 arcs have that radius of 50 millimeters. So now to finish it off, just add the tangencies between my arcs and my circles. So this arc and this circle, tangent, tangent, this arc and this circle, tangent, and tangent, and finally my bottom arc and my bottom circles, tangent as well. And now we can see we have pretty much finished off this fairly complex sketch. And maybe just to finish it off or clean it up a bit, we could trim away any portions of our sketch we may not like. So I can go into my trim tools and trim away any of these portions of my sketch that I may not need. And now we can see we have finished off this fairly complex sketch in Shaper 3D fairly quickly and easily by making use of my sketch tools, my dimensions, and my constraints.